people that I looked up to my entire life, such as Michael Jordan and Kelly Slater, they've all reached out to me, texting me literally and saying that I inspired them. That was pretty heavy stuff when I got that from Jordan.
I hope that you have that on backup.
I haven't. I took some screenshots of that one.
The fairy tale story gets better.
You're paired with Rory tomorrow. What's your reaction to that? You serious?
I played in a golf tournament one time, and I was worried about, because I was living paycheck to paycheck at that point. And I'm like, I have to make this putt in order to pay my rent. I'm not having fun. I'm stressed out. I'm kind of ruining a sport I love so much. I was making $12.50.
Stop it.
I'm pretty sure Val had more money in the bank than I did. She's pregnant. I had probably more credit card debt than I had money in my bank account. I literally pretty much put my golf clubs away for 8 years.
I love that about you, because I don't think a lot of people know the commitment that you made to your family. You put your career dreams on hold a bit.
I basically never gave up. I always had this dream that something was going to happen. It's crazy how fast it goes, but you definitely don't want to waste it, and you definitely don't want to give up. And that's a big part. Whether you want to write a book or be a movie star or whatever it is, you can do it at any age. That's for sure.
Hi, Michael. Welcome to All Over Again podcast. I'm so excited you're here. This has been a very long time coming. Everyone, please meet Michael.
Hey, guys. Yeah, thanks, Nat. Appreciate you having me. We've been friends for a long time, and this is pretty cool. Come full circle to be on your podcast with you.
Thank you. So we were just reminiscing about a birthday year that I will not go back to, but we were talking about how you met your beautiful future, now wife, and my dear friend Val on that night.
That's right.
In Laguna. I was entertaining with cocktails at my apartment pre-birthday party at Javier's, the
right.
OG Javier's.
That's correct. It was fantastic. I remember everything about it, considering the fact I met my wife there. From the moment I grabbed her sash that was hanging off of her dress, and to the walk down from your apartment down to downtown Laguna Beach.
So you remember what Val was wearing?
100%. The jeans, midriff, the sash, the red sash I grabbed when she walked by me for the first time ever, and then her accent. She's from Argentina, and a very thick accent, especially that long ago. And I was smitten. I was taken. I was done. I was in love, and lucky enough to still have her.
Yeah, none of us heard from you for like a week. You guys went undercover.
I think we went on 7 sushi dates in a row, in 7 nights in a row. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And then out to Palm Springs.
Yes,
you moved to Palm Springs.
That's true.
It happened for you were both of you. And the funny part is that in my mind, I was setting you up with Alyssa and Benny up with
Val. Yeah, no, that's the funny part. I was actually supposed to meet a separate who was one of my best girlfriends in the world now.
Yeah.
And instead, yeah, it was, love at first sight for at least me with Val. So it worked out nicely.
Because I had just met you.
Yeah, for sure. I'd known you a little bit, but it was.
I'd known you for 6 months, or maybe a year.
Yeah.
Another thing that sounds so suspect now in retrospect, but it wasn't, because I was out there for work, but we met in Vegas.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, still when I hear Outcasts, hey, yeah, what's cooler than being cool?
I slept on a couch in your room, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really large
really
room.
Big room, thank God.
And it was, that would be weird.
I was on the couch singing.
There was a bunch of us.
I woke up singing. I remember that.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Yeah,
yes,
true.
It was a work event. And I was typing away, doing something, and it was this double life. I was still in college, even though I wasn't, but then I have this big corporate job, and nobody.
Time flies. It doesn't really feel like a long time ago, to be honest. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We all had so much fun back then.
Absolutely.
I mean, we still do, but different.
100%. A
lot more responsibilities.
A little bit.
Okay, so speaking of responsibilities, things have happened. A lot of things have happened over the course of your life and your career. Before we dive into that, not everyone knows you as well or has the history with you that I have and our friends have. So how would you describe yourself in 3 adjectives?
Boy, describe myself? I am driven, enthusiastic, and loving. And yeah, somewhere in that general zone.
Great adjectives. And I think driven is something that is a great segue into my next, set of questions. Golf has been a part of your life since your senior year.
Yeah,
in high
I
school?
played golf, with my parents. They played golf their whole life growing up. So we always played on the weekends at the, municipal golf course in Iowa where I grew up. And it never really became that. I didn't play that, I played in like the junior club championships and stuff like that. But nothing ever anything crazy. And then also played tennis and baseball and soccer and everything else. But then my best friend at that point in high school was big time into tennis. So I got into tennis, and I did more tennis lessons than anything else, and played varsity tennis for 4 years in high school. And finally, my senior year, they let me play because golf and tennis are at the same season. And back in St. Louis at this point, I played golf and tennis my senior year. But I wasn't even the number one guy on my golf team in high school or tennis.
I bet there's people on your team that like talk about that now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, back in the day.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I don't know if I was probably around number 3 on the high school golf team. So yeah, it was fun. I wasn't too worried about it back then. I was having more fun on the weekends than anything else at that point.
In Iowa
And Missouri. Yeah, I'm a Midwestern boy at heart.
And that shows. And I love that. So
Nice.
wait, so wasn't baseball a part
Yeah,
of that
baseball
too?
was huge. Yeah, but then I was deathly afraid of getting hit when I was hitting. That really, I was a pitcher myself.
Yeah.
And I knew how very little control I had. So I knew that kid that was throwing at me had very little control as well. And so I got out of that, and I found the sports that I wasn't going to get beamed with a golf ball or any ball. So I went to golf and tennis and stuck with it.
So let's talk about the transition into when your career became golf centric.
Mm-hmm.
So I met you. You were already, I think were you the head pro or something out in Palm Springs?
Yeah, I was an assistant golf professional
Okay.
at the Lakes Country Club out in Palm Desert, which is where I started right out of school. And I was there for 6 years. And that's and then when I did meet Val, I brought her out to the desert, and I brought her out in May in the desert. So it was already about 100 degrees. And then she lasted about 2 months, and she's like, we need to go back to Orange County. And so I found another place to work in Orange County, and I've been there for 21 years.
So let's just go back to Palm Springs. You were only out there for 2 months, because I went out there multiple times and it felt like so much longer.
I was there for 6 years, and I think you visited pre-Val. So it was, I was there for 6 years total, but Val didn't last very long there.
I mean, but it felt like so much longer for some reason. Like I remember being out there with your parents and wait, ready. There was, because you were renting someone else's house. Like I remember finding like Depends under like the bed.
I rented
like,
one of the
where
members' houses there.
am I?
It was haunted. I'm pretty sure.
I think
was
it
definitely
was.
haunted. It was so scary, the wallpaper and everything about it. But yeah.
It was a cool house.
It was a cool house right there at the golf course that I was working at. So it worked out great. Yeah. And Val would get on rollerblades every day and go in 120 degree heat and come back and be like, we got to go. So there you
and
go.
we would go on hikes too when
Yeah.
it was that like in this crazy heat.
Yeah.
It was only 2 months.
Yeah. The Val was there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's insane.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the point where you were thinking about like, okay, I'm going to move out to Palm Springs. Like what were your goals at that point insofar as your career?
At that point, just very oddly, I started winning some tournaments at age about 21, 22 that I had never even thought of even coming close to winning.
Okay.
Which is very strange. So I wasn't highly recruited out of high school, definitely not at all. And then played some college golf after I, out of nowhere, won the St. Louis Amateur Championship, which for me at that point was like the biggest thing I'd won by a lot. And then all of a sudden, college coaches are coming up to me asking me, hey, come play for us. And that's what I did. And so at that point, all of a sudden I was like, I'm actually a little better at golf than I thought I was. And it kind of has been in that realm most of my life, where as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit better. And it's, it's kind of weird. It's not because I haven't become more athletic. I don't practice as much as I did when I was a kid, but for some reason, I've just become much more successful. I think in a way, and something I can talk about a little bit later, but I've kind of based my whole life around making the hole look as big as possible. And I've talked to this before and I realized kind of at a young age that in order for that hole to look big, okay, so when I'm putting and sometimes when your life's not in a great place, the hole looks tiny. Literally the hole looks smaller than a golf ball. You're like, there's no way in the world this ball can even go in that hole. And it kind of goes towards life in general, where if your life's in a good place, you tend to be more successful, right? And that's for me, is I realized, thank goodness, that if my life, my family, my job, my work, my friends, everything, if everything's aligned nicely, the hole looked big. But I also realized too, at least at that point, that I didn't want to, or I couldn't if I could, but the hole looked tiny at that point where I knew I couldn't play, because I remember I played in a golf tournament one time and I was over a 6-footer, downhill left to right. And I'm sitting here going, and I was worried about, because I was living paycheck to paycheck at that point. And I'm like, I have to make this putt in order to pay my rent. And I'm like, this is not fun. Like, this is not what I want to do. And so I pretty much realized very quickly that, I can go give a golf lesson and make $150 in a half an hour. And I was like, what am I doing? Right over here, I've got to grind it out, put all this stress on me. I'm not having fun. I'm stressed out. I'm kind of ruining the sport I love so much. And so I quickly went to the working side of it, of teaching and running a golf course instead of playing at that point in my life. Did you have a goal or aspiration to go pro at that point before you kind of switched gears? Not so much, just because I've never been that great to where, like, I always said I want to be, if I was going to play professionally, I wanted to be top 100 in the world. I didn't want to be one of those guys that's going back and forth from, like, let's say baseball, AAA to the majors and then back. And I always saw myself in that kind of world. Like, as far as how good I wasn't going to be top 100 in the world. And I realized that, so I knew I needed to work. Mm-hmm. And I could have gone out and tried to beg people for money and go out there and have all these sponsors that are going to, like, the members at clubs that are trying to give you money to go play. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I don't want to go out. That's even more stress, playing with other people's money. I wanted nothing to do with that. So I stuck with playing against other working golfers at that point in my life. So 2 things. So first of all, you shared the size of the hole, right? And what you envisioned. So I feel like that's testament to sort of the mental element and the mental importance of the game of golf. 100%. Golf's one of the sports where you're standing there and you're the one that has to react. That's a ball's not coming at you that you, like in tennis or baseball or football, where you react to something moving. You actually have to make the move yourself when you want to do it. It's, that's why you see some people, especially amateurs, they stand over the golf ball for way too long, because I call it freezing yourself. And it's freezing yourself, whether it's you're giving a speech or anything else in life, in business, where you are thinking too much about what's going on. And then all of a sudden, it's like in football where, the coach calls timeout on the kicker on purpose, just so they get in their own head and possibly miss the field goal. Golfers tend to do the same thing, where they stand over the golf ball for so long that their brain's going sideways and they're thinking about everything that could happen that would be negative is all rushing in. It's very rare that someone's over the golf ball or doing something in life where they're overthinking it and it's all positive thoughts. When that's the most important thing, is one very positive thought in your head, and then right away, as soon as it's done, you pull the trigger and you make the putt or you make the shot or you talk, whatever it might be. I mean, I have so many questions that I want to ask you, but so speaking of that moment, so you had that huge moment. I mean, I'm sure you've had lots of moments, but you had that moment at the Open. Yeah. Yeah, at age 46. Yeah. Were you anticipating that you made a hole in one. Was it and it was on 15? Yeah. So one of the 4 majors championships of the year. And I kind of mentioned this to you a little previously, but I had always visualized in my head, even though I was not on tour, right? Not on tour. I played in a lot of tour events, like qualifying here and there and playing like 1 or 2 a year, regular tour events, a couple of majors here and there. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm in a major championship. I'm in contention. I'm in the final round in 8th place and playing with Rory McIlroy, who's ranked number 1 or 2 in the world at that point. And it's just the 2 of us. And I had visualized this, and I literally had dreamt it in my life. Many, many times I had told about, like, verbatim what I was going to do, that I was going to be me and Tiger Woods at Riviera in the Northern Trust event, and it'd be coming down the stretch, and it'd be the 2 of us, and it would be this big, my life would blow up at that point. I literally dreamt it many, many times. And I was convinced that it's going to happen because I tended to play I played in that event like 7 times in LA. And it never happened. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here in a major championship, final round, live on TV, worldwide, I'm with Rory, and I make that hole in one where the ball literally just, it went straight in the hole, didn't even land on the ground or hit the pin, just right in the hole. And it was just, I had that week that, we all dream of having. But the weird part is that it happened when I was 46 years old, a father of 2 that are, I don't know, they're probably like 16 and 18 at that point. My wife's there. My coworkers are there. My bosses are there. Members are there. Just craziness. And then, obviously my life changed quite a bit there after that, just from that one crazy week. So it's been quite the ride. And I still to this day can't explain to it when, just walking through the airport or out to dinner and people know who I am is just a really odd feeling because for 46 years, I'm literally no one knew who I was at all except friends and family. And so for now that to happen at this age is a really strange, I still to this day, even though that was almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I still to this day feel like I'm dreaming most days when I wake up. You wake up and you're like going, did that really happen? Because it felt like a dream. It seriously does. It feels like a dream sitting right here with you, Nat. So. Yeah.
Oh, you're so kind. Thanks. I don't even know how to react to that. Okay, wait. So you had this moment, this moment. I mean, it has changed the trajectory of your career.
Mm-hmm.
How has it changed your personal social life? Or has it?
I mean, I still live in the same house. I still drive the same car. Same friends and family that I've always loved. Still have everyone there. It's just the social media stuff of it, which I'm not a big fan of, but, that part of it has been weird. That week when I was there, I think I started with 5,000 followers on Instagram and I left with 270,000 in 3 days. And my kids are in the back of the car as we're leaving the golf course and they are refreshing it because they were really into it.
Yeah.
And I was going up 5,000 people a refresh and followers.
Such a trip.
It was crazy. And then all of a sudden these, people that I looked up to my entire life, such as Michael Jordan and Kelly Slater, and these guys have all reached out to me.
To play.
Texting me literally and saying that I inspired them, which was, that was pretty heavy stuff when I got that from Jordan.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Insane.
I hope that you have that on backup.
I have it. I took some screenshots of that one.
I bet.
I still have it. Yeah.
So what is the fam thing?
Yeah, it's cool. I thought I would have been cooler to my kids, but I'm still a fat old guy. Stop. Dad, yeah.
So Dan and Mary. I want to hear about how they think.
Yeah, they're pretty proud of their only child, I guess. I get to see them. They still live here in Orange County, so I get to see them at least once a week. And that's been a really cool thing for them to, have their friends talk about it and talk about the situations and what I've gone through over the last 2.5 years, which is cool, traveling the world, hanging out with really some pretty cool people and having some really cool experiences, to say the very least.
So what's one experience that you've had in the last few years that you could not have ever imagined?
Oh, yeah. So
that you can talk about. So
the Michael Jordan thing and
huge
stuff like that's really cool. But one interesting one was where it was a Monday afternoon and I get a phone call from my golf club sponsor, which is TaylorMade. And they call me they're like, Michael, can you be in Qatar on Wednesday? This is Monday. Can you be in Qatar on Wednesday and do a video shoot with Max Verstappen, who's the number one F1 racer in the world? So they're like, yeah, so we want Max Verstappen to caddy for you as you're playing Checo, who was the other Red Bull racer, F1. So they're in Qatar at that point. So I literally just jumped on a plane and flew, I think it was 18 straight hours and landed in Qatar. And I was there for about 18 hours and did this great shoot with them, got to meet Max, gave Max his first golf lesson, played with them. Just a whole bunch of cool things. If you're F1, if you're into F1, to have Max Verstappen as your caddy and to have him, we also did the fastest hole played where he's driving the golf cart and I was trying to play.
So fun.
But yeah, in the middle of the night, under the lights in a golf course in Qatar. So yeah, stuff like that's been pretty, that was a pretty cool experience.
That's spectacular.
Yeah, it was nice.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to take you back to what would you do all over again in hindsight, 2020?
Mm-hmm. So what would I do all over again that I've done? My biggest thing that like something I talk about all the time, because, a lot of people struggle in the world where their life's not always, by no means has my life been perfect throughout. I was previously married at a very young age. I think I got married when I was 24, not married for very long, no kids. But I have a lot of friends and I've had a lot of acquaintances in my life who have gone through divorce or have gone through breakups, or have gone through a lot of bad things. And I always lived off where, everything happens for a reason. And of course, not everything does. I mean, I've realized that in life, a lot of people have passed away and some bad things have happened that should never have happened. But on the relationship aspect of it, for me personally, I would never trade the fact that I was married the first time. And that's something, I know a lot of people. I have a personal friend right now struggling a lot. That's, he's lost his kid and his wife has moved out and stuff like that. He's struggling a lot right now. And I've been just trying to tell him that what I went through, if I wouldn't have been married for those 2 years, if I wouldn't have gone through a kind of an ugly divorce, I would have never been at your apartment. And I would have never grabbed Val's sash that was hanging off her and told her that she had a nice sash. That would have never happened. Right. And then because of that night, when I was invited to your dinner,
my nameless birthday party date that year.
Right. And now I have, I wouldn't have had Dylan, my oldest son, or Ethan, my youngest son, or my best friend in the world, my dog. I wouldn't have had any of these things because of your birthday dinner. So just, it's crazy how things happen in life. And, so it's funny. I wouldn't have traded anything in the world. The fact of being married and divorced at a young age, it all happened for a reason for me. And I thank goodness it did. And I hope my ex-wife's doing well.
And you're also glad that she's no longer in your life.
Thank
so,
goodness.
right?
Yes. Yep.
So what jumps in my head when you're saying that is, the song Closing Time, remember?
Yes, of course.
Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Like that just popped in my head. Mm-hmm. And it's really true. When one door closes, another one opens. You met Val, and then you too unexpectedly moved into parenthood relatively quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Val was pregnant. I mean, I was separated, but the divorce took almost 2 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah.
California takes forever.
That was kind of a thing. Yeah, Val was pregnant with Dylan when I was supposedly still married, but obviously not together.
Right.
It's we went through a lot there at that beginning, and then of course, life wasn't perfect for Val and I throughout the whole last 21 years. But when it all comes down to it, we could have easily just given up on our relationship and stuff like that could have happened, but we fought through it. I realized Val's the right one, and my kids and everything else. And I've been very, very happy since then. And we talk about it now, even when Val and I struggled a little bit at the beginning when we were going through that time where I think a lot of people do when kids are in that.
And financially, financially, you were, I was there. I saw it.
Oh,
financially,
my gosh, I'll tell you what.
That is a burden. That is such a stress. And now you have another human being,
Here's a funny story. So we're in the desert where we're talking about. I had gotten this job at my new place. I wasn't the head pro yet. I was an assistant pro. I was making $12.50.
Stop it.
I'm pretty sure Val had more money in the bank than I did, which was maybe $10,000. And she's pregnant. She's 6 months pregnant. And I'm like, we're moving. I got a job. And I told her, I said, you're never going to have to work again. And this is at the point where I'm making $12.50. And I think I had probably more credit card debt than I had money in my bank account. But I told her that. And I literally pretty much put my golf clubs away for 8 years. And helped open up the golf course I'm at right now. I literally put my clubs away for 8 years. And this is in my prime, what you think would be prime of golf, like my, 25 to 33, no golf. At a golf course.
But also I love that about you because I don't think a lot of people know the commitment that you made to your family because you love them so much, of course. And what a family guy you are, that you, even though you were still surrounded by golf, you put it to the side. You kind of you had to make money, but you put your career dreams of progressing on hold a bit.
Mm-hmm. I saw the me making money and me having a son and me providing and trying to be in the right house, in the right place, in the right situation, in the right city, et cetera, that I needed to work.
Yeah.
And I needed a guaranteed paycheck.
Yes.
And I knew that I had a great place, a great place to be at, a great people to work with that supported me. And I was at that point. Val would be like, we can't go to Starbucks right now. Like,
I actually remember these things. She was
I couldn't afford to stop at Starbucks on the way to work. I mean, that's at what point we were. And it's pretty amazing now to see what's come of that. And I still to this day, because I'm pretty addicted to Starbucks. When I stop there in the mornings, I'm just going. I remember when I was getting scolded for getting a Starbucks back in the day.
Oh my gosh! Well, you know what? I'm hoping that some coffee company is watching this and gets on board.
Crazy.
Just saying.
Crazy. Yep.
It's amazing. Yes, I mean, we were just all puppies. We were all these little puppies, and we were trying to navigate the world. And then all of a sudden, you had human beings that you now had to support. And I do remember. Yeah,
it's a big wake up call. No one's a perfect parent or anything like that. And so, trying to do all that.
You're pretty great. I'm not going to lie. I mean, listen, we all struggle. We all have our things. And maritally, of course, like a relationship requires work. And then add children. It's like, here's a little chaos.
Oh. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy. I mean, I've seen so many people go and break up and get divorces in this age where I've been seeing a lot lately, where the kids are like, let's just call it 4 to 8 or 4 to 10, where they're in that age frame where it's difficult.
Oh, it's so tough.
It's not about you anymore, and it's not about your relationship. It's about making sure that your kid is being raised correctly, and that's where a lot of people seem to struggle in relationships. And I know I did, and thank goodness that struggled, thought about it, met back up, and we were like, the best thing that we can do for not only us but for our kids is to be together. And that was huge.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was important. And we talk about it all the time on our walks in the morning.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what is a dream that you and Val have been able to realize as a result of this new experience, this new event? I mean, this is huge.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, like I said, we're still doing the same stuff. I haven't gone I splurged on one thing. I bought a classic car that I always wanted.
You did? Which one?
Yeah, but I did because I sold a couple things.
Oh my God, don't be like all like humble on me.
No.
I like cars.
Well, old school. I bought a 1965 Mustang Fastback that's a resto mod. So it's been completely redone.
What color?
It's all blacked out. It's like murdered out. It's like it looks like John Wick's Mustang, all blacked out. Yeah, it's really cool. I love it. It's amazing.
So that's
it's a toy. Yeah, it's my Sunday toy. Never thought in my life I'd be able to have something such as that. But yeah, that 7-iron that I had that I made that hole in one with, I was fortunate enough to sell that for $40,000 just for that 7-iron. And so that was part of the money that started going towards Val being okay with me getting a toy that I did. But other than that, we haven't changed our lives really at all. Like
big trip coming up? Are you going to any of that stuff?
Yeah, we traveled. I've literally traveled the world 10 times over. I've gone to Europe, I don't know, in the last 2.5 years, I think I've gone over there 10, 12 times.
But just you two. I'm thinking like you two.
Next year. So next year. So I turned 50 here in June. And so when you turn 50 as a golf professional, you can play a Champions Tour, which is, basically the senior tour in a nice way to say it.
That sounds so
I know, right?
Crazy.
I know. But
I'm
almost a senior in golf.
You're in your prime now, actually. So
yeah,
there you go.
It feels good. So, but I'm going to go over and try to qualify for the European Senior Tour in January in Turkey. Then I'll spend pretty much all of July next year in Scotland, Ireland, playing a couple different events, the Opens there. And then from there, who knows what happens. But so I'm going to try the European Senior Tour first because for my age, it works out over there. And then the next year, more events here in the States. So
you're going to stay out there the whole summer?
At least July. But I still, at this point, I still have a job. So I need to come back here and actually help run the golf course as well.
That is so fun.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
And so, so you'll get a house or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
You've had obviously all these really amazing things happen over the course of your career and your life. You just shared with me that next year is a big year for you. You're going to try to qualify, right?
Mhm.
And once you qualify, like what happens next?
Yeah, I'd be on tour. I'd be on the senior tour, champions tour full time.
Okay.
And you have to be 50 years old and be able to do that. So you basically have like a 5-year window from 50 to 55 where you make your hay, you play well, you do well, whatever else. But nothing's guaranteed. But I'm going to go out there and try. And
Yeah.
the cool part is I have a real job too. And so I get to kind of double dip on that, which is nice.
I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's one of the cool things about golf is the fact that, even if you're not a pro, which most people aren't, you can play golf until you can't walk. I mean, it's crazy. And it's so cool because you got grandparents playing with grandchildren. You've got, you can, the reason I've been able to be around my kids as much as I have is because of the game of golf. Right. And so even now, every single holiday we have, what do? We play golf together, and it's a really special thing to have. And I strongly recommend it for those that don't play golf, just to get out there and try it. But the sport's booming. I mean, they've had like 18 million more people started playing golf in the last couple of years. I mean, it's insane how popular golf is. Yeah.
Wait, how old were you when you started golfing with your parents?
4 maybe, like really, really young, but just like casual at Credit Island Golf Course in Davenport, Iowa. I mean, it's a little par 3 course, and public.
I mean, it's just interesting because some people are super hardcore now. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, it feels almost too intense. I mean, I'm not going to judge. Like
it can be.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It can be not fun for how certain parents treat their kids into, not just golf, but sports in general. They can kind of ruin it for them. But parents need to kind of stay away in sports and let the coaches they've hired do their job.
Well, I feel like is a very good bit of wisdom. Mm-hmm. And what would you share as words of wisdom with kids who want to follow in your footsteps? And
that's been kind of the cool thing because I'm part of Good, which is this right here. Good is a YouTube channel. It's a bunch of young gentlemen that basically started YouTube golf. Garrett Clark, GM Golf, and whatever else. But they've created this huge following. They basically started YouTube golf in general, which is now really blown up. And they have their own clothing now and everything else, and they're huge. But it's what has gravitated why so many young people have started playing golf because of Good. They watch it on YouTube, and then it's amazing how much Good's done for the game, growing the game, and because of it, all of a sudden I've got all these younger people who exactly wouldn't know exactly who I am, but they follow me and they watch me play against all of their idols, and so it's been a really cool experience being part of Good for sure.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So if you were to share any parting words,
mm-hmm.
if you had a platform and you could share one thing with the entire world, what would you share?
Oh, it's easy. At 46 years old, my life completely changed. And it's not something where I did something, I basically never gave up. I've never given up. And that's my biggest part is I always had this dream that something was going to happen. I was convinced. I would tell my wife constantly, like I said. And when it happened, the crazy and cool part about it was all on film, and all the interviews are on film. Everything's on film, and you can see it, right, if you get online. And the whole time is I'm just sitting there just going, absolutely I'm living a dream right now. And you can see in my eyes, I'm just in cloud 9. But the biggest thing is I don't care it's a sport, it's a business. I mean, there's so many different things and avenues you can go in this one lifetime. That's a big part. It's one lifetime and it goes by quick. I don't know if you noticed or not, but ever since when I turned about 45, it's going by really, really, really quickly now. And I was on the walk this morning and I was talking to Val about it, and I'm like, we're going to be 60 like in a flash. And we were talking about it this morning, how we are going to start living hard, for these next 10 years, because, then all of a sudden we're going to be 60, and then it's just crazy how it goes by quickly. Because it's just like we were talking about earlier, Natalie, we were sitting in your apartment in Laguna Beach, what feels like yesterday to me. But that was pre-kids and pre a lot of things, but, it's crazy how fast it goes, but you definitely don't want to waste it, and you definitely don't want to give up. That's the big part. Whether you want to write a book or be a movie star or whatever it is, you can do it at any age. That's for sure.
You really can, right?
100%.
And it all goes back to when I asked you how to describe yourself in 3 adjectives, and driven stands out because you always have been.
Don't give up and never think, I literally started writing "why not" on my golf balls, because I'd get over a shot and I would start to self-doubt. And so I had, it's really easy, it's so many negative things always come in the brain, just in general, what in life. But I literally had to tell myself over every shot, I go, why not? Why can you not hit this shot block? Why can you not hit this? Like, there's no reason. No one's going to tackle you and the ball's not going to move. That's why I said, no one's tackling you right now. It's up to you. Like, no one's going to jump in front of this golf ball. So it's 100% up to me to make this golf ball do what I want it to do. And nobody can control it but myself.
Profound.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
It was such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.